Today I am going to introduce the first English detective novel in the world to you, The Moonstone. There is something you need to know before we get started. If you really want to read this book, no matter in English or in Chinese, for the interest of suspension, you may not want to listen to this presentation because the resolution of the story is contained. British Army broke into Seringapatam in 1799. They entered Tipu Sultan's palace, and here comes the first scene. Sir John Horncastle is found along with 3 dead Indians and the Moonstone. In fact, this is a direct description of colonialism, which is one of the most important themes of the book. Several years later, the missing diamond was sent to Miss Rachel as a birthday gift, and it was missing in the next morning. In this way, all the story starts. The second scene I like is that when police officers asked to search every servant's room in case one of them took the Moonstone, Lady Verinder said no. In terms of characterization, the scene reveals Lady Verinder's good nature. She trusts her servants and pays them respect. Well, eventually these rude officers didn't find out anything. The loss of the diamond made the young lady really sad. She even refused to talk to her lover, Mr. Franklin. So her mother found Sergeant Cuff, the best detective in England, for the diamond. The third thing is that the sergeant came to Verinder's house in Yorkshire and met Gabriel at front door. The old steward wanted to know how long would it take to solve the crime. This scene shows that Mr. Cuff, as a detective, is very intelligent, observant, and a little weird. Is this kind of image of detective familiar to you? True, this is a typical image of fictional detective. Roses to the surgeon is just like opium and violin to Sherlock Holmes and guitar and monster trucks to Dr. House. However, intelligent person makes mistakes occasionally. Mr. Cuff's investigation is stopped before she can solve it. The loss of the diamond made everyone in the house feel bad, and Miss Rachel decides to move to London for a while, whereas her mother was sick. The fourth thing is that her mother is making her will. She was such a great mother that she left everything for her daughter without saying a word. Miss Rachel didn't even know that her mother was sick when she heard the death of her mother. Miss Clark was invited to be a witness while making the will. She is in a charity group organized by Christians. She tried to convince Lady Verinder to read a book and join the group. The fifth scene was that she left a dozen for books in the house after her proposal was declined politely. All of these books were returned to herself on the next morning. The irony here is that Lady Verinder is a faithful Christian herself, whereas Miss Clark only considered her religious belief at white stockings. The sixth scene is that Mr. Godfrey proposed to Miss Rachel after her mother died. Actually, he's the really bad guy in the whole story. He had a loan to pay, therefore, a young lady in the grief of losing her mother with a great amount of legacy seems to be a perfect aim for him. However, he behaved like he is so in love with Rachel that you cannot even tell before reading to the solution. The seventh scene is that Miss Rachel found out the truth and broke the engagement with Mr. Godfrey. This scene is chosen because its significant effect on the plot. His failure forced him to a plan B, which is the missing Moonstone. He immediately put the diamond in the locker of bank after he got the diamond because he knew that there were 3 Indians who would kill for the diamond out there. He put on disguise to take the diamond out. However, they still managed to kill him and got the diamond eventually. The eighth scene is that the dead body was recognized to be Mr. Godfrey. There were evidences showing that Mr. Franklin was drugged on the night he took the diamond from Miss Rachel's room. The ninth scene is that Mr. Franklin was doing an experiment to prove he did it subconsciously because he had been keeping the diamond for days and been responsible for its safety. Miss Rachel went to observe the experiment secretly. They hugged and decided.
Created using Powtoon.